Welcome everyone in this new live development video about building an auto battle game. In this video we're going to rework some of our logic regarding our game state. Nothing too fancy, but we'll still grab a backup of our folder just in case something goes wrong. And we're going to head over our in-game state right away. And we're gonna close everything and we're gonna create some kind of comments section first and foremost. So on player join, we want this, and we will say store player info, and we will also say set player team like this, and we're gonna put a little color there, which is gonna be a little red. So we don't want anything regarding, we want a little red like this. Just so we can see it's only on the server. Consume winner tick. We want the tick, we do want this, and we want that. Consume winner timers. Begin play. Start first phase, and I think we don't want that. During our rework we're going to get rid of this, I believe. But for now we're going to keep this. We have a multicast which changes. We're going to use debug multicast switch phase like this. And this is only on the server. This is actually everywhere, but we want to check to see the fact that it's not, that it has some replication property here. And now we're going to clean up a bit of this. This is in phase. This is in phase. Await combat data in phase as well. Receive combat data in clear combat phase. On combat data received, on player units dead. This is going to be in combat. Timer, launch phase timer, on phase timer, and we're going to put this in phase timer. Phase recruit. Phase combat, and we're actually going to move on player units dead in the phase combat folder. Go to phase, set phase, await combat data, receive combat data, clear combat phase, on combat data received. Matchmaking, match player, get player battlefield, find NT, update battlefield of the player, get opponent player, this is fine. Start win timer for player. So this is actually the same. It should be in the same category than on player units dead, but I'm not sure it should be in phase combat. This should rather be in we won't say events. We're not going to say events. We're going to put this in phase combat for now. Consume winner timer, we're going to put that in timer. And this one as well. Decrease phase timer, on match ended in combat. These we can't move them. Matchmaking, so we were fine. Shop, generate income, we're not doing anything with this for now. We'll keep this. Utilities, get remaining player counts. Are we using this? Yeah, we are. We're checking whether our players are alive or not. And we will modify some of the logic here as well during our rework. Get player team color, yeah, we will do it this way. Okay, initialization, find all battlefields, we're fine with this. Units, add unit to player. So this is to keep track of all units. launch unit AI. Okay, so we're happy about this. We'll just store the variable in such categories. So current phase is going to be in phase. Phase timer is going to be in phase timer. Recruit phase duration is going to be in metrics. So this is something we want to see at the top of the list. Max combat phase duration is here as well. Players, I think we want that in matchmaking. New combat data. So this is the list of units. So this is the server side information about who has what. Server player unit list. This is going to be called like this, and we're gonna hit compile, and this is going to be located at phase combat, battlefield, I guess this is going to be in battlefield with alongside the fight zone, maybe just references. So the current match is going to be in phase. So player current battlefield is actually that value, but only on the server. So this is going to be server current match. We're going to move this here as well. Players new. So this is the thing we need. This is one of the things we need to clean up here. This is going to be a reference. Player units. So this is actually used to store the list of units and to keep track of and to find target, to keep track of which unit is alive and to find targets. Yep. Player unit list, this is going to be player unit list as well, and this is going to be in the combat phase only. Launch AI timer, this is going to be, we don't care much, I think it's there, launch AI timer. So we want the launch AI delay in the metrics list and the win timer duration as well. Awaiting winners, we want that in the combat phase. Not at all, these are timers, so these are actually player win timers. That's better. So we have way better. Remaining players. So this is used for when a new player is added, when we know a player is gonna play a match, we're adding him there, then we're removing him there. So this is for the combat phase only. Should consume winner timer is just for the phase timer. Big consume win timers. Current phase counter. So this is rep notify initial only. So we want that to be in the phase folder. And we want to put this here, and we want to say that the current phase is actually rep notify as well. Like this. And how much is that actor actually replicated? 10 times per second, perfect. We don't want it to be more replicated than this. So what is it we're doing here? Well, most of the logic, so we want to get rid of that map. So I wanted I wanted us to create that map because I wanted us to have a static copy of all the information about the player, but it's actually a factor of error, and we'd rather just have a reference to the player and grab the information on that player directly, on that player state directly, rather than wait for the game state to update the information in that map. So we're going to get rid of that map, and we're going to move there. We're going to hit compile. So I can't seem to be able to drag this, so it's bothering me a lot actually. Yep, I'm kind of a maniac sometimes. So like this, and we want to find every information, every reference we have to the players matchmaking. So these are player battlefield, player fight zones actually. We're gonna put this in the phase, actually the phase folder. And we want to get rid of, where is it? Oh yeah, that's players new. We had, oh no, so that was, so the thing we just renamed here was actually what we wanted. So we actually want to check this, we want to get rid of this. This is the old players we had. In-game players, yes, so we want to hit compile. In there we're checking if the new map is actually, if there are actually 2 or more players there, and we're going to the recruit phase right away. So we just don't want that logic anymore. So where else are we using this? In here. So we want to get rid of this. We want to grab all the players. We want to put this here. We want to loop through this. Did we create the status variable yet? No, we did not. So we're actually never checking this right now. But we'll be actually we can create that, I think. Did we have this here? No, we don't. In player state, status, player status, do we have this? No, we don't. How was it called? In-game player status, okay. And by default we're going to be alive, and we don't want we don't want combat data here, and actually we're never using this, so we don't want this here. Okay, so we're fine with this for now. So we can grab the state here, get state, get status, we call that. In here we are gonna remove this. If we are live, we're fine. So okay, where else are we using this? Get remaining players. What was get remaining player count? So we're doing the same thing in both. Okay, no, we're grabbing the remaining players as a whole, as names. So yeah, that's better. But we still need to replace one by the other. We're gonna find this and we're gonna grab our status here. We don't want this anymore. Okay, we're fine. Are we using that variable anymore? Never. So we can get rid of this. We can hit compile, hit save, hit play. Nothing gonna happen because we removed the stored phase logic. Yep, but it doesn't matter. So we cleaned up a bit here. It's way better now. So I'm thinking about, did we have the color properly? Yeah, we have. We're not drawing any match, that's why we haven't anything here. We can still put units there, it's counting. So we're good with this. Okay. So I think now we want to update the phase logic. So where is it gonna start? It's gonna start here on rep current phase. When the current phase is modified, we're gonna go to phase, we're gonna go to combat phase or go to recruit phase, like this. And the server is going to modify this, and the client is only going to do something if this is being called. And we also want to be calling the event dispatcher here. A new phase started, like this, and we only want to do anything if the phase is not equal none, like this, and it's going to be equal, and the current phase is going to be equal to none by default. And you will say, so the first time I'm going to receive this, it's going to be none, and it's not going to be triggering anything, and we're fine with this. So when the new phase starts, it's triggering this, and we're calling this after that because we might be doing some stuff here that we need to do before reacting to the event somewhere else. So when do we actually want to be modifying this on server? Actually, when the timer events pop, so we're having a launch phase. So we have a launch phase timer, which is setting this. Yeah, for now we don't care about the fact that it's replicated. It's irrelevant for now. It's just about if we happen to have someone reconnecting and disconnecting and reconnecting. So yeah, and we're not doing anything here. So we need to be calling this, so the server needs to be calling this when the amount of player is enough to start the game. So I guess what we deleted here, we needed it. So get players new, and we can get rid of the new after that. Player states, we're gonna check for the length. So is the length equal the amount of players we're looking for? Players, how is it called? How is it called? I have lost the name of that variable. Needed player counts. Okay, we didn't create a variable. I remember how it was done. It was like this. If we're not, we're gonna wait and restart. And then what? Everybody or just the server? I think just the server is going to switch as authority here. We're going to be doing this, and we're going to go for launch phase timer. in there. Timer duration is gonna be initial wait game first. It's the first game timer. I mean, how is it freaking cold? Initial wait time, and this is gonna be public, and this is gonna be a matrix, and we're gonna have like 5 seconds of initial wait time. So the server is doing this, and everyone is going to receive an event about that. Not at all, because it's initial only. So we actually will put this here. So everyone is going to receive an event, but we don't care about this for now. And 1 second after that is going to decrease phase timer. So this is only going to be done on server. So actually we'll get rid of this, and we'll put this in current unwrap current phase counter. So the server modifies this, everybody triggers that, and it starts decreasing the phase timer. So we're decreasing the phase timer, we're checking if that's equal to 0, and at one time we're saying that the phase timer has ended. We don't need this to be replicated. Why are we making this replicated? If we already replicate the only to keep things synchronized regarding the timer we see. Okay, that's not a bad reason. We can do it this way. So everybody's gonna do this, and this is going to call that. And if the current phase is equal to none, we're going to the recruit phase. So when the phase timer ends, we don't want to be, the server wants to so let's get rid of this. Set phase and go to phase. Let's get rid of this. So when the phase timer ends, so let's get rid of this and everything in here. So we want to set the current phase here, but only on the server. So if we were at none, we're going to recruit phase. If we were at recruit, we're going to combat phase. And if we were at combat phase, we're going to the recruit phase. We're fine. If we're hitting compile, we're going to have lots of errors. Go to combat phase, getting rid of this. And we don't have errors anymore. So when the timer ends, the server sets this. So timer winner, we don't want to see this in the same category than the other. Phase timer, no, we want that here. Phase timer, yeah, exactly, that's what we want. So we're launching the timer, we're figuring out where is it, we're decreasing it, I mean, and then it ends. The server sets this, and we receive unwrap current phase, and we're looping through the current phase here. We're switching on the current phase, and yeah, we're going to recruit and combat phase. So that's what we want. But we have a number of things here that are not properly set up. because we actually want to await combat data before actually going to combat phase. Well, actually not. So clear the combat phase. When do we want to do this? So the battlefields, we are clearing all the players on the battlefields. We're clearing the AI timer events, and we're pulling all units. So we want that, and this is going to be when we start the recruit phase. Clear combat phase. When else are we calling this? Never. That's perfect. So we're going to the recruit phase. We're clearing the combat phase. We're matching player together, generating income, and launching the next phase timer. That's fine. I think the client is actually never gonna call launch phase timer. We're only gonna do this on the server this way. So we're going to the recruit phase. We're clearing the combat phase, matching player, generating income, and launching the phase timer. So if we're hitting play, yeah, we're going to the recruit phase. So we had a bunch of wait before because we created that wait manually. So we're just gonna remove that wait. Initial wait time, we're gonna put 0.1. And it's bugging. Yeah, we're gonna put 1, and I think that's because decrease phase timer inferior or greater than 0. Recruit. So that's fine with this. And you saw it was way better synchronized than before. And what if we are 4? We're all in the combat phase, so that's fine. So the in-game state is starting to look a bit better. So the recruit phase seems to be fine. But now we're going to have some issue regarding the combat phase. So when we receive this, we're going to the combat phase. And what do we do here? We clear all units player add, so we don't want to be doing this here. We want this, we want to be doing this. Yeah, we want to be doing this in the recruit phase when we clear. When we clear the combat phase. That's one of the thing we want to clear. When the combat phase ends, we don't have anything related to that here. We clear everything related to that. Server player unit list. So this is actually also something we want to clear when we clear the combat phase, I think. We'll see if that creates bug, we'll see after that. So we want to keep the authority here. And we'll just use a sequence node here as well, because if we need to put this elsewhere, we'll see it will be easier to pack it together. So when we're going to the combat phase, we actually want to await combat data before going to the combat phase. because what happens next? We're waiting for combat data, but we can only do this on server. So we're waiting for this, so this is never being filled right now because we're never asking for it. Oh yeah, I think we are automatically doing this because the in-game player state is actually bound. So when the combat starts, if we are local, we are sending our informations. So that's correct. So the server is waiting for combat data. If it already has it, it triggers it. Check, this is not a wait, this is check for, this is, did we receive everything, basically? Check for unit spawn off. Actually, I think I know why. We just want that to be a function, and this is going to be our combat data received. Did receive combat data. Sorry for English speakers, you might have died right away. And we actually don't want that here. So we're calling this here, but actually we don't want that. And in here we want to get rid of uncombat data received. And paste that here. So if we receive all combat data, we're gonna call this and launch the phase timer, but only if we have authority. And where else are we using this? When we receive a combat data, did receive combat data, yes. Only the server is receiving this anyway. We're gonna call uncombat data received, and I think we no longer need that function. Like this. So when we're going to combat phase, only the server is doing something. It's waiting for all combat data to be received. When player received, so server is gonna do this before client do anything. Client are gonna call receive combat data here, which is gonna feed that, and we're gonna check for combat data received. And when we have everything, the server is gonna start this. Clients are going to receive that event as well. Max combat phase duration, this is gonna be like 200. So the server is going to receive this, which is spawning the units of all players, so this should be working right now. And when a player, so we'll just hit play to see what happens. So we're in the recruit phase, we're gonna put some units down. We need to check if plus is plus, okay. So here we are in combat mode. So we don't have a counter there. Victory, defeat, that's fine. So we just want a bit more time. We want like, yeah, we want like 1 minute to do stuff. And apparently didn't start the the countdown of the combat phase, and I'm really wondering why. So launch phase timer, now go to combat phase. So the server is receiving that information. Maybe it's not. Yeah, he is. Else we wouldn't be receiving the combat data. And we're launching the phase timer, which is modifying this, and this should be showcased on the widget. So how does... I just wanted to make sure that it's still... where is our plus cheat code located at? I don't quite remember. Where did we put this? Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't there. Oh yeah, I think it's just in the controller, in the in-game player controller. So cheat code, next phase, move dragged units, move unit to square, left mouse button and drag and drop, begin play, and tick events. Like this, we're better with that. So if we are the server, we're gonna grab the in-game state and we're gonna multicast this, and actually I think we really don't need to do this, because if we're calling this on the server, it's going to call this, which is going to modify the phase, which is actually going to start up the phase timer. Oh, in any case, we want to remove this here from here and put this here. That's why it wasn't working earlier. Yep. So we're fine with this, so we don't want this. Oh yeah, we want that. Update hosted player. But we don't want that. So this is the hotfix to replicate the the match lists when it is the exact same than before. Then replicating. Then if that occurs, the variable does not replicate, so we're fine with this. So we're gonna hit compile, go back there, and in here what do we want to do? We want to say phase timer end. Only the server can do this. So we were in the recruit phase, and now we were in the combat phase. We have 3 minutes, and we're back at the recruit phase. So we have the team color bug here, which we didn't have earlier. Well, we didn't try much, and actually we added. I was just expecting that it will fix the bug, and we also have the bug that units remain in pool here, in the pool here, whereas they got removed there. So this is clearly something we have to fix now. So when are we actually clearing all the units from the pool? So I guess this is when we clear the combat phase. I think we might want to do this in the very end. First of all. And then I'm wondering where, so when we send the unit to the pool state, it is actually clearing its square, but I have the feeling that we are already clearing the squares one way or another. But are we even triggering this? So when we go to the recruit phase, the client is actually is indeed triggering this, but it's failing. It's actually failing to clear. So we have the player list here. We still have it there. Then it's getting cleared and they won't come back. Names are not coming back. So that's the issue here. So when we match player together, we are receiving this update battlefield hosted player. So I guess we are receiving this before clearing, before doing that. I mean, oh, we're not even clearing this here. So the current match, so we're clearing this here, which is fine. And we're never clearing this anywhere else. So I think there is something wrong in the logic order. Clearing the combat phase. I think something is wrong regarding this and what we're doing and when we're doing it. So we're sending all units back. And what if we are actually calling this on match ended? We're gonna collapse this to a function on combat phase ended. We're gonna put this in the combat stuff here, and we're gonna on phase timer and I think we're gonna call clear combat phase, then on phase timer and, or the other way around rather. So we don't want to be calling this here at all, and we don't want to have, yeah, we do want to have this on phase timer and. So this is starting the recruit phase, and yeah, we indeed want to clear the combat phase when the recruit phase starts. So I'm wondering why it's failing to remove the units from the pool. Are we actually clearing the unit somewhere else, like I was saying before? When they're dead, yeah, this is fine. And what do we do here? So maybe units are actually unregistering. Now if they will be unregistering, we will see them disappear, so they are actually not unregistering. But they should be, because when we set the unit state, we are actually calling this, which means we should be unregistering the units. But it's not the case. So we're just gonna add this to our list of bugs. Like this. Client is failing to clear unit in battlegrounds and phase switch, so this is the same bug. So we're just gonna remove this. Bad starting camera, we got rid of this. Else not on max by default, we got rid of this. Server is not casting victory animation. Unsync game phase bug, we just removed this. Team color bug, we still have it, but I think it's just tied to that bug. So these two bugs are together. I think that bug is also tied to that one. Maybe it was even tied to the fact that phase were unsync. So we'll see where that comes from if we still have it. Server is not casting victory animation. I think he is. I think it definitely is. So I fasten up the animation just to clearly see that they are doing. So the draw, victory, and defeat. Wonderful. So we're 56 seconds in the recruit phase. So that's fine. That's way better than before. So apparently we got rid of that bug. Sometimes units don't fight each other. Team color bug. Sometimes fight never ends. So that's another bug we had, but we're going to get rid of these bugs now that we have improved our phase logic. So this is going to wrap up that video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.